it's cool that you only bring one thing to the table. You know that. So now when he's trying to sell you all these dreams, like, oh my God, you're more woman than any woman my age, that is running game. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple of minutes, we are talking to Surviving R. Kelly Part 3 on Netflix, and just the pervasiveness of the R. Kelly mentality in our community. All of these videos are worth their weight in gold, so I hope you watch them. Probably not all in one day because there's a lot. But shoot, if you could Netflix and chill, y'all could Lonnie and chill. But really ask yourself, why is this old ass man talking to me? Why isn't he talking to women his age? What's wrong with him? And yes, what's wrong with him? Because the women his age know what's wrong with him. And you need to learn from their experience, just like I was talking about in the other videos. If Big Mama's illnesses aren't your wake-up call, you don't need to wait until you're sick to stop living like Big Mama. You don't have to wait until you're in the position of calling yourself a survivor or being labeled a survivor because you didn't learn from the older women who won't even touch that man with a 10-foot pole. And again, my language may not be the pretty language, but the message is very clear. So when they're talking about, yo, I don't understand why they blaming the parents, the home environment, the family. It's not our fault. It is, because how does your daughter end up with a man who has her smearing on herself? Like, where did the abuse begin? Where did the confusion of what love is and what love looks like and what love feels like begin? And we need to have this honesty conversation, because a predator or a man like R. Kelly is able to swoop in and be Prince Charming, because that's what we do as parents. We love on our kids until they don't wash the dishes, and then we're losing our Some of us are beating our kids because they left their clothes on the floor. And then when we want to make things okay, we feed them. That's the joke in the community, ain't it? The black mom, you want something to eat? Let's kiki about that stuff, but after we're done kikiing, let's realize that we are setting our children up for the cycle of abuse. We are literally loving on our kids, beating on our kids, then giving them gifts for things to be okay. Tell me that's not the cycle of abuse. So what was the home environment for R. Kelly's survivors to, I don't want to call them the V word, but so I'll call them the survivors, but what was the home environment for R. Kelly's survivors in order for them to end up in the folds of R. Kelly? And not only in the folds of R. Kelly, because now that I've watched Surviving R. Kelly Part 3, what's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple minutes, clearly we're talking about Surviving R. Kelly Part 3. But after I watched Surviving R. Kelly Part 3, I'm like, where did these girls come from in order for what R. Kelly was subjecting them to be okay? And I get it. The abuse starts small. But if a person never experiences abuse, the moment they do experience it, warning signals start going off in their head. But if they're being abused in their home, and like I said, we set our children up for the cycle of abuse, we love them and protect them. We beat on them when they're not doing what they're supposed to, and we say disgusting things to them. We then incentivize them and give them gifts to bring us back to baseline. Wash and motherfucking repeat. So don't sit here and say you are not setting your kids up for the cycle of abuse, because if you can have a fucking moment with yourself, you know that you are. And having that moment is the moment necessary for you to stop. We're sitting here and we're seeing our children in real life R. Kelly situations, and we're like, how did you end up there? Yo ass. So let's change the way that we're raising our kids, because people only seek a level above the trauma they're used to. And then once they get roped into that level of trauma that they're used to, then that trauma can either go up or that trauma can go down. And that's how our children are ending up in R. Kelly situations. So we cannot blame the survivors. We can fault the parents. Yes, we can fault the parents. And all these people aggressively, oh, it's the black woman's fault. No, it's everybody's fault. Anyone who has been tasked with raising a child and did not take that task seriously and did not raise the child, instead housed the child and perpetrated and replicated the BS that has been perpetrated and replicated for generations in the past on our current generation, yes, we are at fault. Own your and make the changes necessary for our next generation to not be R. Kellys and Aaliyahs. And then men. If you do not want your daughters to be the next generation of women to be ran through by men, stop running through women. It starts and stops with you. And whoever is raising these kids, we've identified a lot of problems in this whole Surviving R. Kelly series. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple of minutes, we are talking Surviving R. Kelly Part 3. There's a whole bunch of videos in this series, but this is going to be the final video because if I ain't made my point yet, there's no point to be made. Old men, i.e. 18 and over, just because a little girl comes to you and says she wants it, she does not. She wants what you represent, which is money and stability and things. Something she's not receiving at home, you represent, and if she got to give up a little to get it, then she's willing to do it. So stop selling yourself on she wants it. Society, stop victim shaming. Again, same thing. She doesn't want these older men, even if she says that she does. I said that I did. I didn't. I didn't want it to be done so much that my pussy swole up. I didn't want that. Families, stop leaving your children so deprived of love and touch and attention that they are now going out and seeking it in the arms of predators. Predators know that because they came up out of home environments that left them deprived of love and all these things. So just like your daughter or your son is seeking the arms of this predator for that attention, the predator is left to feel like he's on top of the world because your child is looking up at them and treating them like a god because they are giving them all the things that you never did. And then they are met with the same abuse that they experienced from your home. I love you. I discipline you. I incentivize you or gift you to get you back in my good graces. That is the cycle of abuse we set our children up for. That is why a predator is so easily able to come in and snatch your kid up. Because a child who is not used to an abusive environment will recognize abuse soon as it happens. But the child that is used to an abusive environment, they recognize it and it's comforting to them. And that's why they say he was so nice in the beginning because he met you at the trauma bonding level that you're at. And then he was able to turn that trauma up a notch. Or in the case of R. Kelly, just blast this till the speakers blow out. So we need to do the work to prevent our children from being the next generation of Aaliyahs and R. Kellys. It's our job as parents. It's our job as parents to shift and change the way that we are raising our children. This form of physical punishment, this form of verbal beratement must stop.